Hey everyone, it's Leanne. Welcome to my art channel. Today I'm going to show you how I created this drawing of my sister's ferret Zeus. He is a cute little family pet, and I did this as a gift for her. And she's picking up my Nintendo Switch order, so I wanted to surprise her with a gift. So this is Zeus here, and this is the picture that my drawing is mostly based off of. Here's another little picture of Zeus. He is a quirky little ferret, very inquisitive, very playful, and he has an affliction for Froot Loops. So you'll see that in the drawing. He's a pretty funny little character. He has a big heart of gold though, and we love him. So I've drawn this out, and I've written out this sentiment, a collector of things. When I had originally sketched Zeus and I started sketching this, I sketched him kind of small, and then because I don't have a light box or a way to scan this into Photoshop and reprint it, I kind of had to go with what I had, and I didn't want to erase them because I really liked my drawing, so I decided to embellish it and add the border and the words, and it actually worked out really well because it all kind of suits him. It's all sort of things that pertain to him. He likes to collect anything that is at his nose level, and so that includes all of the cat's toys, any slippers, bath mats, anything he can get his little paws on. And then he loves Froot Loops, so I wanted to put him in a ring of Froot Loops, kind of like it was the frame of his photo. And so once I have him drawn out, I have this drawn on Strathmore mixed media paper, and it comes in a notepad that is 6x8, which I love this size. I find 8x10 is really big, but I like this size. It's comfortable for me to work at. So that is the paper it's on, and I'm just inking this now. So I'm using a Micron pen, and this is an Indian ink. It is light fast, waterproof, fade proof. And I've used this pen for years. I really love it. So I'm just getting him all inked, and then once the ink is dry, I can get to coloring. So I had fun actually drawing the Froot Loops. I was kind of nervous to start those because I wasn't sure how to draw a Froot Loop, other than making a circle and it not looking like anything that was supposed to be a Froot Loop. But when I did some looking into reference photos, I found that Froot Loops are actually really porous. They don't have an even surface, so they're not a perfect circle either, and they have pock marks in them. So I tried to draw the holes kind of jiggly. When I drew them with my hand, I tried to draw them rough, and then I added some little texture pock marks on the shadow sides of the Froot Loops. And so I found that helped, and then there was a coloring technique, and I'll show that part when I get to it, that helped make it look like a Froot Loop as well. But here you can see I'm drawing the little pock marks to create the shadows, and just give some more dimension on the texture of the Froot Loops because they're very porous. And so once I was done inking this, I had to walk away. It's very tempting to start coloring as soon as you're done, but if you don't let the ink dry, it can smudge and it'll bleed with the marker, the alcohol markers. So you definitely want to make sure it's dry. So I did walk away, and then I came back and I erased my pencil lines. At this point I'm using a white Staedtler eraser, which I've used these for years as well. I love these. So I'm just removing all my sketch lines. And so now it's ready to color. So when I started coloring Zeus, I started really light. He is a white ferret, so I didn't want to color him too dark, and I used mostly warm grays in the Copic collection, and I wanted to use a lot of the white of the paper to create that white color. And so as I was coloring him, I just slowly began to build up the shadows. starting with the lightest Copic color of the warm grays that I wanted to use. And so I'm blocking in the shadows, and then once I have the shadows blocked in, I start to come in with darker grays and progressively deepen those shadows. Using a little bit of pink for the ears and the nose. The one pink I had was kind of bright, so I touched it to the tip of a light pink and made a blend of between those colors, and that's how I created the coloring you see there. And I was kind of intimidated to color him actually, because I haven't colored anything that's white before like this. And so I really didn't want to lose the impression that he is white, but I didn't want to make him flat looking either. So I came in and added a bit of, I think it's B60, it's a blue-gray, to add a little color interest into the shadows as well, so they weren't just flat gray. But I did this after I had most of the shadows blocked out, so I knew where I wanted them to go. And so here I'm adding some more of that blue-gray, and this is actually a mix between a blue-gray and a darker marker. If you find that in Copics you don't have an in-between color, you have a too dark or a too light, you can take the light and touch the tip to the darker marker. That is, yeah, darker marker. And you can do that and create an in-between tone. It works really well. So I thought Zeus was looking pretty good, and it was time to move on to the Froot Loops. Now, the Froot Loops were a happy accident. I thought that what I would do is when I was done coloring them, I would come in with a white Jelly Roll pen and create the icing highlights. But what I decided to do instead was just stipple them, and this actually worked and left the white highlights that I needed. So I stippled the base color, which was the lightest color, and then I came in and stippled a medium tone sort of in the shadows, and then I came in and stippled my last color, which was the darkest tone, in the deepest part of the shadows. And so I made sure to leave little peaks of white sticking out, and it actually worked because it was all organic and not controlled, and so the white parts of the paper shone through in different areas and made it look like a glaze or a highlight. I think if I had came in with a Jelly Roll pen after, it would not have looked as good. I would have been too controlled with where I put the ink, and it wouldn't have had as good of an effect. So I thought the stippling technique was really great for the Froot Loops. I was so excited when actually I did it and it worked, and I was like, oh my gosh, this looks like a Froot Loop. I'm so excited, because it really conveyed that porous material. Now, I don't know if you know, but Froot Loops come in a crazy amount of colors. I think there's like 7 or 8 different colors that Froot Loops come in, which when I was a kid, Froot Loops did not have that many colors. And I didn't want to put every color in because I thought it would just overwhelm the picture. So I chose 4 that I thought would make a nice color palette. I chose the red and the purple and the green and the yellow. And so I thought the yellow was a nice balance with the cool colors, and then the green as well. Sort of an in-between cool and warm. And then here I'm just counting out. I want to do each one sort of like a string of Christmas lights where they don't repeat or overlap, I guess, or sit beside each other. Every color appears once consecutively. And that goes all the way around. So I actually really enjoyed coloring these Froot Loops. After I had my technique down and it looked like a Froot Loop, I was like, oh, okay. I spent a lot of time on them. And so now coloring the word, I was not sure what to do because the Froot Loops were looking good, and choosing colors I always stress about. But I thought the blue would be nice because I had put blue in the shadows of Zeus, and he's the focal point. And so I thought his name could be the secondary focal point, and the blue would work there as well. And by doing that, I'm adding a balance of that single color in 2 elements, so it's not a strong spot color, and it creates more of a harmony amongst the image overall too. So I did a gradient on his name. The top part of the letter is a little bit darker than the bottom part of the letter forms, which I don't know if that really is captured on camera. It is pretty subtle, but it's a little bit lighter at the bottom. Now with Zeusy being the angelic angel he is, I wanted to bask him in a little halo of gold. So I used the gold color, the lightest color from my Froot Loops, and just did a spiky sort of gradiated outline around him, all these rays coming out from the center. And then using the lightest base color of my green Froot Loop, coming in to meet the ends of where the yellow stops. I had thought about leaving it white around him, but he's white, and so I really wanted to add something that would be a nice contrast. And I struggle with backgrounds because in general I like to paint or draw on white paper. I love the bright white of a paper and the sharp black of an outline with color. So I'm not very good at backgrounds. I always force myself though to do something because it does make the picture look more complete. So I struggled with what color to make this background. I thought about it for days, and I would come to my desk and do some swatches and sort of envision what I thought it would look like with what I had so far, and then I'd walk away for a few days and then come back and try something else. But I did decide on the green at the end. So I'm coming in with a darker green, and on the letter forms and on the Froot Loops I'm creating a drop shadow. And so this is just to give a little bit more dimension to the picture. And it's not something you notice, but unless you're really looking for it, but it does help add a bit of more interest. And it's just sort of a finishing touch too. I actually like, once I put the drop shadow in, how everything was looking. And then it's time to sign my name. Now I found when it was done, I wasn't quite happy. I thought it had a little bit more to go. So after I had finished filming, I added a little more blue to his shadow just to make him match the letter forms a little bit more, and I thought that that change really worked well. So this is my cute little Zeusy drawing. Zeusy is a sweetheart. I love him. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you're notified the next time I post an art video. Thank you for watching.